y'all, Be Righteous here with another video, and this one's a bit different. It's a list of 5 advanced combat tactics essential for this patch that you need to know if you want to gain a competitive advantage, whether you're playing PvE or PvP. This information is useful for both preferences. Oh, and before I forget, please drop a like and don't hesitate to subscribe and join the family. Now let's not waste any more time. The first advanced combat tactic, we have the Chem Launcher, Firestarter. Its tactic is the ability to activate the cloud's explosion manually without anyone shooting it. This skill has gotten even better in this patch simply because of how the skill tier system works now. I have to say that I'm an avid user of the Chem Launcher Firestarter, the Chem Launcher in general, and it's one of my favorite skills. I made a couple of builds surrounding the skill and have learned a lot about it. Most people think that when shooting the Chem Launcher's cloud on the ground, it requires you or an enemy to shoot it in order to cause the explosion. But no, you can activate this manually just by quickly pressing the same button twice after shooting the Chem Launcher. I've done this on so many occasions, and it's the very reason why I've been so successful with it. Doing this will definitely give you the upper hand in combat because many people don't know that. And even if they do, it doesn't matter if you're efficient with it, especially since hazard protection has been nerfed. The second advanced combat tactic is a good one. It's the fact that all shields now stack with your armor. I made my fair share of shield builds, and in my opinion, there's always been an issue with them. I believe the implementation of this solved its problem, because before the patch, back in TU6, you had to have high skill power in order to make your shield formidable, but the result of that would leave you squishy once the shield is gone. Now you're able to be a true tank while maintaining the power of a strong shield. You see how here, if you go to the shield skills tier description, even though you have 0 to 1 skill tiers, it's showing that you have 6. But that's because this function is giving you the power of 6 because it stacks with your armor. This addition to TU8 has single-handedly solved the problem of shields not being able to be a viable solution to run. And now you can even use those smaller shields that used to get melted down in 1 second. They actually have value. Number 3, any talent that requires you to kill an enemy to activate that talent can be achieved by destroying that enemy's skill as well. Let's take the Savage Wolverine's close and personal talent for example. It states that killing an enemy within 7 meters increases total weapon damage by 38% for 15 seconds. Now most people don't like talents like this because it requires you to get a kill first, but if you can destroy an enemy's skill, then that takes a lot of pressure off of you trying to get the actual player kill to utilize this talent. Let's take this scenario for example. A drone is headed in your direction and it happens to get within 7 meters of you. With close and personal, when you destroy that drone, you gain an extra 38% weapon damage. This helps you accomplish 2 objectives at once. Derail the enemy's strategy by destroying their skill, but also give you an upper hand with the damage buff and your opportunity to execute a counter push. I've done this many times, and not just with a weapon, but by utilizing Disrupt Pulse as well to destroy a skill. Number 4, the Fireflies 2 variants, Burster and Demolisher. Both different, but serve similar purposes. These have a few tactics that will definitely give you the upper hand in a fight. First, let me tell you about the Burster. With this skill, it will not detonate without 2 or more targets locked and in close proximity to each other. You would think those targets have to be players or enemy AI soldiers, but that's not the case. If an enemy has a drone above his head or a Minder mine next to his feet, well, that skill acts as the second target, and because it's also in close proximity to the enemy agent, the explosion will detonate right away once it's attached. Now for the Demolisher Firefly, this one's more for PvE. Not saying it can't be used in PvP because it most likely can, but I personally have had more success with it in PvE. With that being said, there's not a better time to implement this tactic, with the cleaner's return being more threatening than ever makes this strategy a no-brainer to use. With a push of a button, you can target up to 6 fuel tanks on their backs, instantly destroying them, which will give you the opportunity to kill them with ease. But this skill is even more valuable against the heavy cleaners, because if you notice, now their fuel tanks is protected by a bulletproof vest wrapped around it, exposing only a small section, making it very difficult to shoot. The Demolisher will auto-target that area and solve your problem immediately. Because once their fuel tanks are destroyed, they pull out a melee weapon and run after you and attempt to kill you that way. Much easier to deal with if you ask me. The 5th and final one requires a bit more skill to utilize. Accuracy and precision play a big part in order to be successful. It's the hidden headshot multiplier on the Urban MDR rifle. This weapon has 35% more headshot damage than the rest of the rifles and also has the highest DPS even without headshots. The Urban MDR has a 1.95 headshot multiplier while the rest of the rifles are 1.6. This means the MDR wins every time with any decent amount of headshot accuracy. Most of the time in my comment section, the rifle builds I make, people comment saying, well, why not just use the ACR SS? It has a higher fire rate. Well, this is one of the reasons why. Also, the MDR is just my favorite weapon, and I've been rocking with it ever since its release in Div 1. Last patch I stated in my headless build video that I'll make a playlist called the Urban Legend series. The best MDR rifles will be included in that playlist. I haven't made a rifle build yet for this patch, but trust me when I say the first one I make will be worthy of this playlist. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you utilize these tactics because they will definitely give you the upper hand in PvE and PvP. Until next time I see you, be right out.